I was looking at the Septuagint. I was just reading it because my friend was telling me, she said, Amanda, there's no chapter 30 or chapter 31 in the Septuagint, in the Benton edition. I was like, I'll just have a check. I'll check this out. What I found was that the 31, where it talks about a virtuous woman, has been merged with chapter 29. And I thought, okay, let me see if I can find where it's got chapter 30. Because in chapter 30 it asks the question, do we know the name of the Father and his Son? So I thought, okay, let me just check this out. But yeah, not yet found it, so I'm still looking. However, came to chapter 25, verse 2 in Proverbs, and what it says is, it is the esteem of Yah to conceal a matter, but the esteem or glory of a king honours business. And I thought, it's a bit different from what we normally read. Normally it would say, for example, in the King James Version, it's the glory or the esteem of a king to search out a matter. So what I've decided to do was to look at that word business, and perhaps I'll probably come back a bit later on and look at the word matter. So when we look in the New Testament, and we remember what Yeshua told his parents when they were looking for him for 3 days, he said to them that how is it that you sought me? Did you not know that I must be about my Father's business? So I thought, okay, what does this word business mean? And I looked up the definition of business in just the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, and it references business. However, it tells us to go to trade. And when you look on the trade, it says of Chaldees, trading port, Roman and Italy. And I thought that's quite useful to know, because as we know, the Chaldees, along with kings and queens, sat down and came up with this numerology system that is tied into or embedded into every aspect of society. So I didn't want to go off on a tangent, but if you see my short, very brief video, I've said that of Chaldees shall be judged, because that's what the Most High says. And then it also says in this dictionary that Israel was an agricultural nation. However, we weren't really involved in trade as much, but we also know that the tribe of Dan was on ships, and we also know that Solomon had ships as well. So that was interesting. And then in Strong's 4399, business is malaka, and it means as a message through action. And in the King James, it means work, business, workmanship, goods, cattle, stuff, a thing. So for us as TIs, or targeted individuals, or really privileged individuals, I say, because the Father has allowed us to go through what we've been through and to be awake for a time such as this. So it's really important for us to understand what our ministry or work is in this earth. So one of the things that we really need to do is to think, Father, I've been through this. There's been so much pain. I've lost house. I've lost my job. Separated from my family. My health. I've been afflicted in more ways than one. What is it that you want me to do? What message from this targeting, from this affliction, do you want me to give to your inheritance? What is the message? What is the ministry? What is the work that you'd have me to do? And we know that the Great Commission is to go and let people know about the good news. Let them know about the good news, how to awaken people by planting a seed of the good news. And the good news is that Yeshua did come. He died and he rose again, so that, we don't have to die eternity, or we don't have to continue in this loop that Hasatan and his adversaries want us to continue to be in. So for me personally, my mission was the calendar. For some people, it just goes way over their heads. Yeah, but mine was the mission. And hopefully over the coming weeks, I'll be able to break things down so people can get an understanding of how this cursed Gregorian calendar seeks to keep Yah's inheritance in a loop, and how Satan, or the adversary, is trying to get Yah's inheritance by keeping them asleep, keeping them blind, because they refuse to obey his commandments. They refuse to wake up. They refuse to embrace truth, and it's only until you can learn to embrace truth that you can come and sit down at the Master's feet and to learn and to open up your eyes. And as a Hebrew Israelite was saying, the distractions, get rid of the distractions, i.e. TV, get rid of it. Our mobile devices, we do need them, we need to use them, but let's not get so hooked upon them. Let's get into the Word. Let's busy ourselves with our Father's business, so that we can bring forth the message that's going to touch lives, that is going to set lives free through the Ruach HaKodesh, that is going to set lives free. It's going to deliver people. There are Hebrew Israelites out there on the street today. I saw one last week, this young girl, and I saw her a couple of weeks ago, and we gave her some toiletries and some food, and we saw her again last week. And I said to her, do you remember us coming out last week? And she couldn't remember, because she was on she's homeless, she was on drugs, and she couldn't remember. She said no. And we're just talking, and then found out, she's one of the lost tribes of Israel. And I said to her, what would you have us to pray for you? Because Yeshua always asks people, what would you have me to do for you? And you know what she said? She said, I just want things to be how they were in the beginning, because it wasn't always like this. And I thought, it's so true. It really was not always like this. And that's why Yeshua came. That is why he came, so that he could restore all things. And we prayed with that young lady, and you could feel the oppression. You could feel that demonic spirit that was oppressing her. And we just prayed for her. But it's so important for us to just go forward and just to spread the good news, especially in this dark and perverted world that we live in, and remembering that even though we're in the world, we are not of this world.